presentation for this evening will be a presentation in the category of prose. It is a story called Fever Dream by Ray Bradbury, and Parker Brown will present.
We all have those moments of lying in bed, feeling terrible, suffering from some illness, and feeling like it can't get any worse. All we want is for the illness to stop, but it's out of our control. All we can do is lie there and wait. Science fiction writer Ray Bradbury takes this feeling to an entirely new level in his story, Fever Dream. They put him between fresh, clean sheets. He was 13, Charles was. It was mid-September, with the land beginning to burn with autumn. He lay in his bed for 3 days before the terror overcame him. His hand began to change. His right hand, he looked at it, hot and sweating there on the bedspread. It fluttered, it moved a bit, and then it lay there, changing color. That afternoon, the doctor came and tapped his thin chest like a little drum. "How are you?" asked the doctor, smiling. "Doctor," whispered Charles, lying flat and colorless. "My hand, it doesn't belong to me anymore. This morning, it changed into something else. I want you to change it back, doctor. Doctor!" The doctor showed his teeth and patted the boy's hand. "Looks fine to me, son. You just had a little bit of a fever dream." The house was silent as the doctor drove off down the road. Charles lay looking at his hand. It did not change back. It was still something else. The wind blew outside. Leaves fell against the cool window. At 4 o'clock, his other hand changed. It seemed almost to become a fever. It pulsed. Cell by cell it shifted, and it beat like a warm heart. His fingernails turned blue, then red. It took about an hour, but when it was finished, it looked just like an ordinary hand. But it was not an ordinary hand. It was no longer him anymore. He lay in a fascinated horror, and then fell into an exhausted sleep. Mother brought the soup up at 6. He wouldn't touch it. "I haven't any hands," he said, eyes shut. "Your hands are perfectly good," said Mother. "No," he wailed. "My hands are gone. I feel like I have stumps. Oh, Mama, hold me. I'm scared." She had to feed him herself. At 7, Charles was sitting up in bed when he felt the thing first happen to one leg and then the other. His legs beat and beat, grew warm, red hot. The glow crept from his toes, into his ankles, and then into his knees. "May I come in?" The doctor was back for an evening house call. "Doctor!" cried Charles. "Hurry, take off my blankets." The doctor lifted the blankets tolerantly. "There you are, whole and healthy. Sweating, though. A little fever. Did your hand change back?" No, it's my other hands and my legs. What have I got?" "A mild case of scarlet fever, complicated by a slight cold." "Is it a germ that lives in me and has more little germs?" "Yes." "Are you sure it's scarlet fever? You haven't taken any tests?" "I guess I know a certain fever when I see one," said the doctor, checking the boy's pulse with cool authority. Weakly, Charles said, I read in a book once about petrified trees, wood turning to stone, about how trees fell and rotted, and minerals got in and built up. They look just like trees, but they're not. They're stone." Charles paused. "I've been thinking, do germs ever get big? I mean, in biology class, they told us how one-celled animal amoebas and things got together millions of years ago and made the first body, and more cells got together and got bigger until there were fish, and finally here we are." Charles wet his feverish lips. "Doctor, what would happen if, just like in the old days, a lot of microbes got together and reproduced and made more?" His white hands were on his chest now, crawling towards his throat. "And they decided to take over a person," said Charles. become a person. Me, my hands, my feet. What if this disease somehow knew how to kill a person and yet live after him? He screamed, his hands were on his neck. The doctor moved forward, shouting. At 9 o'clock, the doctor was escorted out by the mother and father. Just be sure his hands are kept strapped to his legs, said the doctor. I don't want him hurting himself. Will he be all right, doctor? Asked the worried mother. He patted her shoulder. It's the fever. He imagines things. But those bruises on his throat, he almost choked himself. Just you keep him strapped. He'll be all right in the morning. The doctor drove off down the dark September road. At 3 in the morning, Charles was awake and very warm. He felt the walls of his body change, organs shift. His lungs catch fire like burning bellows of pink alcohol. Now he had no body. It was all gone. The disease had eaten his body, and from eating it, had reproduced itself in a perfect duplicate. I am dead, he thought. I have been killed, and yet I live. My body is dead. It is all disease, and no one will know. I will walk around, and it will not be me. It will be something all bad, all evil, so big and evil it's hard to understand or think about. Something that will do more evil in this world than has ever been done. Now the warmth was stealing up his neck, into his cheeks like hot wine. His lips burned, his eyelids like leaves caught fire. This will be all, he thought. He felt his brain fill with boiling mercury. He felt his left eye clench in upon itself like a snail, withdraw, shift. He was blind in his left eye, his left cheek numbed, lost. His left ear stopped hearing. He screamed, loud and high, just as his brain flooded down. He was blind and deaf, all fire, terror, panic, all death. It was a good, clear morning with a brisk wind that helped carry the doctor up the path to the house. In the window above, the boy stood, fully dressed. He did not wave when the doctor called and waved. What's this? Up? My God! The doctor almost ran up the stairs. What are you doing out of bed? He tapped his chest, took his pulse and temperature. Amazing! Normal! By God! I shall never be sick again in my life, declared the boy. Never. I hope not. Why, you're looking fine, Charles. What's the name you called me? What? The doctor puzzled. I called you nothing but Charles. That's better than no name at all, I guess. The boy shrugged. Thank you for your help, doctor. They shook hands gravely for almost a minute, the boy smiling. Then laughing, the boy and the doctor raced downstairs and outside. Fit as a fiddle, said the doctor. Incredible. And strong, said the father. He got out of his straps himself during the night. Didn't you, Charles? Did I? Said the boy. You did? How? Oh, said the boy. That was a long time ago. A long time ago. They all laughed, and while they were laughing, the boy quietly moved his bare foot on the sidewalk, merely touched, brushed against a number of scurrying red ants. Secretly, his eyes shining, while his parents chatted with the doctor, he saw the ants hesitate, quiver, and then lie still on the cement. He sensed they were cold now. Goodbye, the doctor drove away, waving. The boy turned quietly and gave each of his parents a crushing hug. He kissed them both several times. Then, without a word, he bounded up the steps into the house. In the parlor, before the others entered, he quickly opened the bird cage, thrust his hand in, and petted the yellow canary. Once. And then he shut the cage door, stood back, and waited.